So I'm very excited to see that Professor Anton, has posted some of his reflections on Bruno Latour, who recently gave the Gifford Lectures at the University of Edinburgh. Traditionally, the Giffords are lectures that are given within the field or the discipline of natural theology. Latour was also doing a kind of political theology, or really he was breaking down the modern dichotomy that has been hewn between politics and nature. He's offering a kind of theological politics of nature, you might say. You could say he's offering a kind of eco-politic, or a Gaian politic. And one of the things that Corey was sort of struck by was Latour's ecologization, perhaps, of the Christian Trinity, or at least the sort of archetypal structure of the Christian Trinity of Father, Son, and Spirit. As Corey describes it, this ecologized Trinity becomes a sort of tripartite relationship between Gaia, the creator, the human, or Gaia's children, and speech, the speech that Gaia is able to elicit from or inspire in the human. So what we have here in the possibility of this Trinitarian archetype is the human being coming to an awareness of itself as an earthling. This is kind of written into the Christian story at a very deep level. Many of the poetic roots of the biblical story of Genesis, for example, are telling this story. Adam, the name of the first man, comes from Adamah, the Hebrew word for mud or dirt, humus, earth. So right there in the first book of the Bible, there's this recognition of the fundamental or the profound really relationship between the human and the earth. Whatever the human being is, his or her destiny is tied to the earth, the destiny of the earth. Ours is a geo story, no matter how we swing it. And of course, for much of the modern period, the human, or man as the human came to be called, got lost in its own history and sort of backgrounded Gaia's geostorical adventure, as Latour calls it. The modern tribe, modern civilization, sort of turned Gaia into nature, which was, really something mechanical, something which could be framed, you could say, in Heidegger's sense of Gestell, or Gestell. Gaia was framed as nature, as this mechanical collection of clearly distinguishable parts that behave according to transcendently imposed physical laws that we can understand mathematically and discover through empirical experiments, the results of which must be universally acceptable to any rational scientific modern human being. This is the the sort of modern constitution, as Latour calls it, where humans lifted themselves up by their own bootstraps into something called society, began doing something called politics inside the walls of cities, and left behind the wild nature, the cosmos, Earth, Gaia. Now, Latour, sort of his whole Gifford lecture series is focused around this new geological era that geologists are talking more and more about, the Anthropocene, which is, supposed to have started either, sometime during this century or perhaps back in the 18th century, when the first layer of carbon, or the first layer of pollution was laid into the soil as a result of our industry. Whenever we want to draw the line that says the Anthropocene starts here, it's really somewhere in the last few hundred or maybe a few thousand years, when human beings became a geological force on this planet. We are approaching a mass extinction. The Earth is experiencing what would seem to be a mass extinction as a result of the human impact, and the impact of humans on, causing such things as habitat loss and, overfishing of seas, pollution, climate change, poaching, large mammals like elephants with their ivory tusks, and gorillas with their fur. We've changed the very face of Gaia, right? Our political and economic behavior is leaving a mark upon the biosphere that will last millions and millions and millions of years after we're gone. And part of what Latour is trying to awaken us to is that the modern Constitution has been shredded, not as a result of any human political revolution, but as a result of the revenge of Gaia, as a result of the coming ecological chaos that human industrialization has brought upon itself. Gaia has torn the Constitution to shreds. That which our modern science had told us was inanimate and lacked all agency and spontaneity has in fact returned, showing itself to be even more active than humans, as we, sort of bicker amongst one another about whether climate change is real or not, or we are in sort of political stasis now, and it's we humans who seem like the mechanical, inactive, sort of inert bodies unable to make a free decision based on the knowledge that they have about what their behavior is doing to the world. So everything's reversed for Latour. After the modern Constitution is torn to shreds, we no longer exist in the spatial container of the Newtonian, Einsteinian universe. All of a sudden, the old Galilean distinction between the sublunary and the celestial heavens, the distinction between these two realms becomes quite relevant once again. And we find that, in fact, space is in some way provided by Earth. That Earth is the original ark, as Husserl put it in some late speculations. the Earth in the first provides space. It is not in space. You know, this starts to get us, to move us in the direction of Alfred North Whitehead's philosophy of organism and his ontology of actual occasions, which themselves are not in time and space, the time and space of modern mathematical physics, but rather actual occasions in their inter and intra relationships give rise to space. Space emerges, space and time, as we measure them in science, emerge out of the interactions of these actual occasions. Whitehead's, drops of experience, or these little durations or little perceptions, or monads, as Leibniz called them. Latour, in his eco-politics, his eco-political theology, is drawing upon a sort of Whiteheadian metaphysic like this, that's expressed by other contemporary Whiteheadians like Isabelle Stengers, the French-Belgian philosopher of science and former chemist. She worked with Ilya Prigogine, and also Donna Haraway, an American feminist, I think sociologist and philosopher of science. Check out their work. If you're into what Latour is doing at a political level, if you want to see the sort of metaphysical root images that he's drawing upon to offer such a politics. That's Donna Haraway and Isabelle Stengers. Also, a theologian, a sort of Whiteheadian theologian you might want to check out, that I feel is her work is very consonant with Latour's, is Catherine Keller. For example, her book Face of the Deep, A Theology of Becoming, is it'll take you further into the depths of the sort of process theology that is underlying Latour's political theology. I encourage more people to watch these videos, these lectures by Latour, and I think join in the conversation with Corey and I about how we are to name the agencies that we exist amidst here on planet Earth. Thanks for listening.